Well, friends, I'd like to welcome you to our memorial wall dedication service for Bluewater Health. My name is Adam Kilner, and I will serve as our officiant for this ceremony. Our ceremonies today are significant in that they are the first since the beginning of the pandemic. I pray that today's ceremony will be meaningful to you and will help you build on your loved one's legacy. Today, we remember the lives of loved ones, we celebrate everything that they have been to us, and we also acknowledge our loss. Scientists tell us that there are a billion trillion stars in the observable universe, and it is likely that none burn brighter than your loved one. And the fascinating thing about stars is that even after their life cycle is over, their light continues to travel throughout the galaxies and constellations, illumining all the places they cross. Which is to say that if your heart continues to beat for the one you love, if you remember them in your thoughts and your prayers and your daydreams and your dreams, their light continues to illuminate your world. As one ancient put it, you are the light of the world. A city on a hill cannot be hid. No one after lighting a lamp puts it under the bushel basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others, that they may see your good works and give glory to God in heaven. There's a song that begins, "Love is a beautiful thing. It takes a heart and lets it sing." We're gathered here today because your loved one, their very life, caused a melody to rise up in your own spirit, and you joined in with harmony. We are gathered here because you continue to be bathed in the light of your loved one's legacy. We are gathered today because you continue to sing the song that originated in them. With that, friends, I'd like to introduce Mike LePaine, President and CEO of Bluewater Health. Mike?
Sorry. Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here this morning. It's a very nasty day out there, so I'm glad you all made it. So it's been a long time since we've done this. I understand that this is from going back to 2019. If you think back that far, the world was a very different place then, but we'll carry on. I'd like to begin today, firstly, by just offering my deepest condolences for your loss. I know it's never easy, and I feel for you for that. But today is really a day, it's a day of honor. It's a day of honoring your loved one's memory, a day of remembering the stories, and I'm sure all those stories are very precious to you. And so today we are basically holding the space to both remember and say thank you for your generous donation. At Bluewater Health, we practice patient and family-centered care, which is really premised on creating a relationship or a bond with patients and their families. And that bond, that relationship is never more poignantly expressed than in the final weeks, days, and hours when your loved one passes through this world. So I want to thank you. Their legacy will live on through your inscription. And again, as I said, it's a day of honor, and we are honoring your loved one through your generous donation. But it's also been an honor for our staff, physicians, and volunteers to look after your loved one in their final days and hours. And also, it's important to say thank you on behalf of all the future patients, where your contribution will actually help them in their care as they move forward. So again, on behalf of all the staff, physicians, volunteers, the foundation at Bluewater Health, we thank you for your generous donation, and I'd like to now light a candle in their memory.
Thank you so much, Mike, for your words. My name is Kathy Alexander. I'm the Executive Director of Bluewater Health Foundation, and I'll be part of today's service as well. But right now, it's my pleasure to introduce Adam as not only our officiant for today, but he is also going to bring musical celebration to today's service, and he is now going to perform The Conquering Lion. Please join me in welcoming Adam to the stage again.
Gonna lay down my burdens by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burdens by the riverside. And the conquering lion takes them away. And the conquering lion saves the day. And the conquering lion takes them away. Gonna lay down my burdens by the riverside. Gonna lay down my burdens by the riverside. And the conquering lion takes them away. And the conquering lion saves the day. And the conquering lion takes them away. Friends, I'd like to introduce you once again to Kathy Alexander, Executive Director of Bluewater Health Foundation, and Adele Stewardson, Special Event Coordinator for Bluewater Health Foundation, to lead us through our time of remembering.
Just joking, it's going to be Colin McElroy from our Board of Directors. Good morning, everyone. It really is an honor and a privilege for us to read these names aloud today, and I hope that you do give us some grace and flexibility with any of the pronunciations. If we make a mistake, we do apologize in advance. Greta Rita Affleck, Pauline Allen, Ida Mae Anderson, Robert Dean Anderson, Doris Violet Andrews, Michael Anger, Leo Astolfi, Anne Barnes, Gunther Paul Hines Berwitzky, Angela Baxter, Sally Beaton, William Beatty, June Bialik, Ronald Blake, William Blythe, Ernie Bonin, Rusty Boyd, Clifford Bradley, Evelyn Victoria Brennan, John Jack Bristol, Nicole Gayton Leduc Brown, Kirk Bryson, Joanne Burke, Donnie Burkholder, Velma Vel Butler, Ernest Jr. Butt, Kay Cable, Ronald John Cable, E. Bernice Campbell, David N. Camponzi, Robert Carpenter, Ronald Coughlin, David Chalmers, Sharon Chappell, Julia Julie Krushik, Randy Clark, Thomas Clark, Yvonne Collis, Tommy Lynn Cooper, Velma Cox, Mary Cucalita, Chuck Curran, Kirk Dalrymple, Francesco D'Angela, William Deschamps, Katerina Donato.
William Donahue, John Earl Douglas, Grace Edna Marsh, Duncan, Eileen Dunn, Anne Dustin, George Ellis, Stephen Elnicki, Jillian Ewing, Ron and Edna Fenwick, Roger Flynn, Jeffrey Scott Forbes, Charles Foster, Mary Fuller, Mabel Elizabeth Betty Gansler, Barbara Garrett, Tommy Jean Turner Gaunt, Ted St. Germain, David Gillespie, Glenn Burton Goff, Jean Goff, Rose Marie Goldenberg, Edith Gould, Barbara Graham, Catherine Graham, Robert Graham, Irma Gray, Margaret Gray, Robert Bob Griffin, Joanna Wilhelmina Grunt, Evelyn Rose Marie Vandergulik, Louise Gierke, Robert Hamilton, Jean Handyside, Marilyn Haney, Norma Hannon, Frederick Harple, Eleanor Harris, Miroslav Mears Hauerlich, Jake Haycock, Anne Hebert, Kitty Herwire, Patricia Honey Hilbert, Charles Hode, Reginald Ewart Holbrook, Jean Houston, Edward Joseph Hewitt, Jean Irvin.
Carl Jansen, Reverend Philip Kazik, Janet Kenny, Sam Kerr, Vicky Koch, Norman Krumholtz, Robert Laboute, Simone Lachapelle, Bruce Lang, Jason Lang, Marie Lajoie, Robert Bob Lawton, David Leach, Urbain Liebert, Harold Leckie, Glenn LaCour, Marie Leggett, Margaret Lennon, Pauline Levy, Ray Lewis, Penny Lilly, Charlotte Lucas, Derek Raymond Lucas, Tamara Lumley, Audrey Lenore McDonnell, Isabel McGregor, Jack McKay, Bert McKinley, Hank Mack, Antonetta Malozzi, Larry and June Mallet, Carletta Maness, Monica Ann Bray Mara, Ivano Marutz, Mildred Ducky Mary Timington, George Matheson, Gladys McDonald, Robert Francis McGrath, Douglas McIntyre, G. Douglas McIntyre, Francis Fran McKay, Mike McKellar, Cheryl Ann McKenzie, Patricia Ann McLean, George Merwin, Deborah Lynn Metcalf, Arnold Minton.
John Missick, Rose Marie Mitchell, Thomas Moore, Anne Murray, Anna DeMuro, Mario DeMuro, Donald Kenneth Nemetz, Constance O'Donnell, Judith O'Donnell, Krista Pask, Shared Padness, Bob Pierce, Doward St. Pierre, Patricia Postel, Dr. William Prendeville, Tom Pretty, Barry Quirt, Nadjalko Radoja, Jim Ramsbottom, Craig Ramsey, Electa Reed, Lloyd Reese, Charlotte Reinders, Stanley Robbins, David Robinson, Emilio Roncone, Sherry Roscoe Ross, Doris Sawyer, Gary Shires, Mary Minnie Schultz, Jack Scott, Carol Selvey, Joan Saray, Chandrakant Shah, Roger Sylvester, John Slenchek, Leta Slenchek, Lorena May Small, James William Bill Smith, William Bill Smith, Giovanni John Solanus, James Spenceley, Isla Hunter Stedman, Paula Stenkamp, Mary Stratichuk, Edward Strobe, Dr. Israel Jack Zabash Pasternak.
Doreen Taylor, Dean Thompson, Kenneth Percy Tompkins, Cleodice Torti, J. Roger Turcott, Adrianus Ed Van Hooft, Mary Ann Versava, Archie Wales, J. Duke Waller, Daniel Watson, Kim Watson, Linda Ann White, Stephen Gary Wiles, Donald Williamson, Jean E. Williamson, Margaret Jean Williamson, Sandy Wilson, Paul Windover, Ingeborg Wist, Lisa Wouters, Sharon Wright Empringham, and Leo Yasuchenko. Again, thank you for the privilege you've given us today to read the names of your loved ones. Adam Kilner will now join us on the stage again to perform I Shall Not Walk Alone.
Battered and torn, still I can see the light. Tattered and worn, still I must kneel to fight. Friend of mine, what can't you spare? I know sometimes it gets cold in here when my legs no longer carry, and the warm wind chills my bones. I reach for Mother Mary, and I shall not walk alone. Now hope is alive while we're apart. Only tears can speak from my heart. Break the chains that hold us down, and we shall be forever bound. And when I'm tired and weary, and a long, long way from home, I just reach for Mother Mary, and I shall not walk alone. And no, I shall not walk alone. Beauty there we left behind, how shall we tomorrow find? Set aside our waiting sin, so that we can live again. When my legs no longer carry, and the warm wind chills my bones, I reach for Mother Mary, and and I shall not walk alone, 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 and I shall not walk alone. I'd like to invite Colin McElray again to extinguish the remembrance candle.
Thank you, Adam. I'd just like to extend a thank you to everybody here for coming today on behalf of the Bluewater Health Foundation and the Board of Directors. Thank you very much for attending. With that, I will extinguish the candle. Thank you.
Well, friends, we are coming to that time where I'm about to give you some announcements and some closing remarks. You're awfully quiet out there. Just want to wave to you. And the journey's tough. The journey's tough, and we're traveling along this road together. That's an important thing to recognize. That it doesn't matter what your color or your creed or your gender or your race is, your orientation, we're all touched by grief. Every last one of us. Across all of those demographics, socioeconomic situation, we're all touched by it. We are a community of grievers together. And if we can sit in our grief together, the deep empathy that we have, knowing what each other has been through, will edify us. It will build us up. I say this as somebody who has recently experienced the same thing that you experienced in 2019. It's a difficult journey. But as long as we are building each other up, we will survive. We are survivors together. We must have empathy and compassion toward each other. We will always have to live with our grief. We also have an opportunity to continue to band together as community, acknowledging that we are survivors together, we are torch bearers together, carrying the torch of human beings who have left an indelible mark in our world. With that, friends, I want to invite you to join us for a reception following the ceremony. I also want to thank the Imperial Theater for hosting us today. I'd like to thank all of those folks at Bluewater Health and Bluewater Health Foundation for hosting us today as well. With that, I'm going to leave you with a poem. It's called Memories in the Heart, and it goes like this. Feel no guilt in laughter. She knows how much you care. Feel no sorrow in a smile that she's not here to share. You cannot grieve forever. She would not want you to. She'd hope that you can carry on the way you always do. So talk about the good times and the ways you showed you cared, the days you spent together, all the happiness you shared. Let memories surround you. A word someone may say will suddenly recapture a time, an hour, a day that brings her back as clearly as though she were still here and fills you with the feelings that she is always near. For if you keep these moments, you will never be apart, and she will live forever, locked safe within your heart. And with that, friends, as the ones who have taken up the torch of your loved one's legacy, my blessing to you is this, friends. May peace settle in your hearts, may grace continue to guide your way, and may love continue to enrich your lives. Never forget, always carry the torch. Amen. That concludes this service. Please join us for refreshments.